Just bringing some energy to the show at midnight. This is Jim Seimas.
And I'm Andrew Matheson for double coverage, our Week 10 preview edition for Saturday's games, all three of them, 2 high school, 1 JC. And, how many teams? I mean, this is going to be the final game, final time we talk about some of these teams.
Yes.
We'll do the recap.
We will do the recap, so check that out. There's also a Friday edition that you've probably seen.
Yeah, this is it for the teams that aren't going to make the playoffs.
That's right.
So we're going to stop talking about you.
All right, we're going to stop rubbing it in.
Yeah.
But to get right into it.
One team that is going to the playoffs, the Aptos Mariners. We already know that.
Yes, we do.
Their final regular season game of the 2013 season. They're going to be over in Felton at 2 p.m. on Saturday to take on San Lorenzo Valley. A win by the Mariners would sew up a third straight undefeated.
Everyone's sewing it up.
Sewing up.
Sewing it. We're just sewing. Sewing up titles. The SLV will try and break their needle. No? Yeah, okay. Well, the Cougars, 1-8, 0-4 in the league. I believe, even though it's under first-year coach Dave Petzinger, that they will be celebrating or partaking in the David Mays game.
Yes.
So someone will get the
David Mays jersey.
Yes, and get to wear that and bestowed that honor, and for the team, really.
Which is a big deal.
Yeah,
it's a huge deal for that community, for that team. Despite the season that SLV's having, it's still kind of a...
That's still a proud bunch over there in Felton. And I'm not wearing one, but take my hat off to them. It's tough to go through that type of year.
Yeah.
Hopefully these kids made some great memories this year.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could hope for. I played on a 1-9 team myself as a senior.
Sure. And
it's my fondest memory in high school. So hopefully the SLV Cougars took away some of the same stuff.
I played on a 1-9 team in junior high.
There you go.
Yeah. And I did not play.
Aptos did not play. Brooks Nicholson broke the single season PAT mark last week, and I believe scoring mark for a season as well, if that's correct. But anyway, he is killing it with all those touchdowns the Mariners scoring. He's at the tail end of it, kicking every extra point and kicking some field goals.
Yep.
So hats off to Brooks, looking to add to his total this season.
Yeah, game-wise, Aptos they're already the league. They already have a share of the league championship. Yeah. Another win, they're going to win it outright. I mean, obviously SLV's not having their year.
Yeah.
And there's still, even though they're already in the playoffs and they already have at least a share, there's still too much for this team to be playing. I mean, there's still a lot to be playing for the Mariners, and they know it.
SLV's had too much problem with penalties and sometimes tackling, so Aptos is going to run here and probably get all their players playing by the second half.
Yeah.
That's what I envision.
Yeah.
So Aptos Mariners winning this one.
Aptos. Second game on the schedule, Saturday afternoon, 2 p.m. in Santa Cruz, the Harbor.
Harbor.
I always call them the Harbor Knights. The Harbor Pirates are going to be hosting the SoCal Knights, 2 p.m. A lot on the line for the SoCal Knights.
Yes, there is.
Possibly, we think.
Yeah.
They need to win.
Sure, they have to have any sort of chance.
Yeah. The playoff bid is a little out of their hands right now.
Yeah.
The only thing they can do is win and hope. Yeah.
And maybe if they want, pray.
Sure.
They need some help. So, Harbor. They come off a loss to Scotts Valley.
Okay.
But you know what? We've been praising Pablo Correa the last couple weeks.
Yeah, he's really turned it on. Like league play, and especially the last 3-4 weeks.
Yeah. The area's most celebrated 500-yard rusher this season. But no, he's really come on strong for them and really given them a more balanced attack.
Yeah.
Obviously, they have a quarterback who could throw. Milo Small is looking to break the single-season passing yards mark set a few years back.
Yeah.
So they've got a quarterback who could do it, and they've got some talented receivers. Obviously, we mentioned previously Matt Kessin and Cody Sullivan, to name a few. They also like to pass their offensive backfield.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they have the weapons or if they'll have the time to really get a lot done, because we know that SoCal likes to maintain ball possession.
Sure. I mean, they can and they can't. I mean, they had an explosive third quarter last week against SLV for a big win, a big shutout win over the Cougars, but in the first half, they kind of showed the ball control. In the second half, they kind of really the third quarter, they kind of showed that they can be explosive with that double wing. You mentioned Correa, though, 5'8", 165.
Fireball.
Yeah, I mean, really physical, though. And
yeah,
he's not
tough.
The type of guy you would expect,
no.
Really kind of setting the tone rushing-wise for that team. So
You ever cover a football game and the kid takes off his helmet and he's a redhead? You're like, oh, that explains it. You're just a fireball. Like, you're a tough kid. been picked on or something, and you just got this edge to you. That is what Korea is.
But he's not a redhead, though.
I'm just saying, but he's small.
Okay.
So he's like, okay, I may be small, but I'm going to hit you under your chin.
Okay,
you know?
yeah.
So he's just a tough kid.
Sure. But SoCal, and just jumping back, I mean, they kind of, they need to win, and then they need some help, specifically from Leland.
Yes.
And Leland lost a couple weeks ago to Willow Glen, which kind of hurt SoCal in some convoluted PowerPoint way that we won't get into, but the CCS will break down eventually on Sunday. Basically, they need to win this game to have really any chance of making the playoffs.
Yeah. Obviously, they have a pretty talented offensive backfield.
Yeah.
Last week, it was more Daniel Fisher, Ryan Canavan.
Yes.
So those guys have some
and
wheels.
Brandon Wolfinger.
Wolfinger
he
as
had
well.
119 yards and a touchdown.
Nice.
Yeah. And he's been, the 2 games that I've seen him, he's put up pretty big yards, much of which have come on like these giant scoring runs.
Yeah.
So
well, this week will be a big test for SoCal's secondary. So
yeah.
if they're up to task and just hoping to try and close the season strong.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Knights.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw SLV kind of throw the underneath ball against SoCal last week. They did a little bit better of adjusting though, and kind of shutting down Isaac Newberry in that second half though. So it's going to be the same, like you mentioned, with the passing game, but too much on the line for SoCal. I think they're going to really kind of be focused and kind of take it to Harbor and get a win. Third and final game of the evening, Saturday night, 7 p.m. in Aptos. Cabrillo hosting Gavilan. 1-3 Gavilan, 2-2 Cabrillo. I don't feel like Cabrillo loses too often to Gavilan. I know they beat him last year pretty handily, 52-7.
I know.
Sewed up I'm going to use sewed up every time.
Yes.
Sewed up a Coast Conference South Championship.
You're a wordsmith.
I know.
That's what you are.
Yeah.
Gavilan, a team that likes to pass a little bit.
A little bit.
They have a lot of it of a running back, Jakari Jackson. And Jakari is playing like Atari. Johnson. Jakari Johnson.
There you go.
Jakari Atari. Because this is a video game for him. He has 7 rushing TDs, 8 receiving TDs. He's their leading rusher and receiver.
So
shut
on
him
that
down.
Guy. Yeah.
He's 6 feet, 186 pounds, small, shifty guy. So just a tough kid out of Oakland, Kelson High in Oakland. But, they will pass. And Cabrillo's defensive secondary is banged up this year. Their defense have been tested. They're young. A lot of injuries have forced a lot of youth into these key positions on defense. They've lost pretty much a player a week, seemingly on defense. That's why we've seen higher point totals and yardage totals allowed by the Seahawks. But that said, their offense can get things done.
Yeah. And Romansky, Lane. Now we had Serrano all season in the backfield. Now we have Naji. I guarantee I'm not pronouncing that right. I apologize. Yeah. Naji Wilcox. Naji. Thank you.
Naji.
Had 185 yards last week.
Big game.
Rushing.
Small guy, big game.
Yeah.
So
for us, kind of out of nowhere a little bit. I know he's been kind of developing over the course, but big coming out party last week for him.
No, definitely. With him and Serrano, that gives him that little, like you said, the balance.
Yeah.
They could pass, and they have like 27 zillion different receivers.
Yeah.
They don't have a superstar, but they have a bunch of guys with hands.
John Moore and Dominic Bonner and McSwain.
There you go.
Jr., yeah.
Hasagawa. Yeah. So, but Romansky, he's a second-year starter. This is his final JC game, hoping to go play D1 ball. 15 touchdowns this year, 3 interceptions, a high completion, high efficiency guy.
Yeah.
Like you said, Brandon Lane will get in there.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see if the Seahawks defense is up to task in this. This could be a shootout.
Yeah. No, but I just think, as I scratch myself there.
That's all right. Next time, ask me. I'll be there for you.
Gavilan, their win is over West Valley?
Gavilan's win is over West Valley.
Okay.
And
who's not very good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
And not that we just take that away from
one of Cabrillo's last wins is last week was against West Valley.
No, I know. They beat the team that they're supposed to beat.
Yeah.
But just end of the season at home, Romansky. I know they're gonna play. They'll probably play Lane a little bit as well.
If you're gonna bash Gavilan, I'm gonna just say a little thing about Gavilan.
All right, wait. Let's bash Gavilan.
Well, no. Go ahead. You're doing a great job.
Oh, am I?
I'm not gonna stand up for him, but I'm just saying. So Gavilan lost 70. I'm smiling because that's kind of high to 35 last week. But 28 of those points were scored in the first half. Excuse me. Granted, they were on trick plays, but they scored 35 points against Hartnell. Totally, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So they can do some things on offense.
Sure.
All right, so I'm just saying that's plenty enough to make it against Hartnell. That's plenty enough to make it a game against Cabrillo.
Okay. Focus on the Johnson kid though.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jakari.
one of those things. Yeah, go beat up Mike Tyson. Okay, cool. It's just, he said I could do it.
Yeah.
Get it done. It's
No, but
different.
I feel like when Cabrillo has something to focus on,
Yes.
and maybe sometimes it's the passing game, or maybe sometimes the running game.
They've been up to task?
They've been up to task this
right.
season, and when they can kind of focus on, and usually it's not one player.
Okay.
But it sounds like if you can focus
is
on
good.
Johnson,
I
this
think you have
is
a
the
better
guy.
chance.
Yeah. So I kind of like their chances when they're able to do that.
So just tell them to sew it up.
Sew it up,
Sew it
Cabrillo.
up, Cabrillo. Okay, we're going for you, Seahawks. 2 more shout-outs.
Ooh.
One to myself
Oh.
for making it to my 42nd birthday.
Wow.
Yeah, I will be, when this thing airs, it'll be my birthday and I'll have passed. But anyway, normally I'm covering games. The second shout-out.
Happy birthday, Jim.
Thanks. No, the
That was
reason.
delayed.
Okay. Anyway, the second thing.
Okay.
Producer Tony Solis and his wife, my boss, your boss,
You know her, you love her.
Julie Jag, pregnant. My boss, Tony is not pregnant.
No.
Let's just get this clear.
Let's clarify first.
Julie is pregnant. They don't know
Yes.
the gender yet, but boy or girl. But congrats to them. That's just awesome.
You got 2 good names to pick from right here.
Choose Jim, please. All right. Well, that said, you know where to follow us.
Yes.
Facebook.
That's it for our week 10 preview edition. Next week we have recaps, and then the playoff edition, which we'll be talking about Aptos, Scotts Valley, and hopefully, maybe, possibly SoCal. So we'll see how it all shakes out.
All right. Check us out on Twitter, right down there. Facebook, click like our Facebook page.
Yes.
Tout it out, tout.com.
Tout it out.
And most importantly, check us out on SantaCruzSentinel.com /
Football.
I'm not gonna harmonize. Get funky, get funky. You love that jam.
Yeah. It's timeless.